Alright, welcome back to Cody's Movie Cave, where today we're going to discuss a movie called The Lair, okay? It's this sort of action, military meets horror type movie, okay? It's a B movie, which means, when I say that, it means that it wasn't, didn't come out in theaters. It was straight to streaming, digital release, but that being said, it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be this, low budget, terrible acting, poor effects type, type project. But it was not. I was surprised and delightfully so, I might say. It's directed by Neil Marshall, who I know as the guy that directed Dog Soldiers, which is another kind of military type horror movie that was really good, that I liked. And then he directed the Descent. He did that one, and he was the guy that directed. I believe he's the guy that directed the Hellboy reboot. But this movie was pretty good for a straight-to-digital release as a B movie. It doesn't have a big cast. I hardly know any of them that's in it, okay, other than maybe a few. I've seen a couple of them here and there and some other things, but not really familiar with their work. But just to set up the story for Lair for you is it's a movie where this Air Force, British Air Force I might add, let's get that right, British Air Force pilot, female pilot, who is shot down. She's shot down over, I believe it's set in Afghanistan, somewhere over there in the Middle East, and so her and her co-pilot shot down, and they get in this firefight with some insurgents over there, and she forces her to go take refuge in this spooky-looking Soviet-era bunker in Afghanistan. And so, why would you want to run in there? I mean, I get you're being shot at by Taliban and stuff, but why run into the ominous looming doom of this bunker? But anyway, she does. She goes in, and some really great shootouts right here at the first of this movie. Really cool action scenes, done really well for it to be a low budget type movie. But anyway, she goes into this bunker and they wind up stumbling upon this creature, tall, just nasty looking monster, right? That winds up killing most of the Taliban. She makes it out and gets rescued by a group of U.S. Army soldiers who take her back to their base, and she's telling them this story of this that she just encountered, and it's pretty terrifying, but they kind of don't want to believe her at the same time. But anyway, later these things winds up escaping from the bunker. That's right, things, plural, there's more than one, and their base winds up getting besieged by these things. And so it's a really great sci-fi action horror type film. Really good action scenes, really good scares, and it's gory. It's got the gore, but yeah, it's original, right? That's what I liked about it. It's original, but at the same time, it's not. And I know that's kind of confusing, but it's a whole, it's a creature feature, which means it's got the monsters, it's got the military backdrop, but it's set in the Middle East, which is, to my knowledge, I hadn't ever seen a creature feature like this be featured in the Middle East. And so that was kind of different for me and a little bit cool, plus it being set with the backdrop of the Soviet era type bunker and the Cold War and their invasion into Afghanistan. And so it's got some conspiracy type stuff in there as well that's really cool and really original. Like I said, the performances, the acting was pretty good, considering that it's not any A-list big names. They do a great job. The lead actress, I think her name's Charlotte something, Charlotte something. Anyway, she does a fantastic job in this movie, and like I said, it's got the jump scares, the gore, the action, the violence. It's got It's got it all. It is rated R. It is quite violent, quite graphic, but that's what you would expect with this type of movie, right? Most monster creature feature type things like this are going to be a little on the graphic side. But anyway, pretty cool little movie. You know, it just came out, I think Friday might have been when it came out. I watched it yesterday, so yeah, it came out yesterday. So it's fairly new. It's not streaming anywhere for free yet, I don't believe. But you can always check it out on the big three, right? Apple, Vudu, or Amazon. You can buy or rent. I rented it, and I found myself really rather at the end of it saying, I should have just paid the extra $6 plus what I paid and added it to my collection. I thought it was that cool. Like I said, you know, it's got its similarities to, you know, this director's earlier movie, Dog Soldiers. It's very similar in nature to that, as far as it being a monster creature feature movie set in the horror realm, but with these group of soldiers sort of going off against them. Very similar in that, but at the same time, kind of original too. So it's worth, you know, looking into, as long as you don't have a weak stomach, you know. Anyway, it's called The Lair, and like I said, it's only available to buy or rent right now, and it's rated R. It is rated R for a reason. So, as always, it's been my humble opinion. Opinions are like butts. Everybody's got one. Some of them stink. Later.